let's talk about Egypt, home of the world's first botched nose job. Egypt had a presidential election this week, and while the results won't be official until tomorrow, we can now reveal the winner was Hillary Clinton! I'm kidding. She didn't win. I just love messing with you. The emails were really a problem. No, the winner, of course, will be Egypt's strongman Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, a man who once famously unrolled a red carpet for himself that was literally more than 2 miles long. And the reason I know that he's the winner is that he had no serious opponents, possibly because one was arrested and 3 more withdrew amid reports of intimidation, and yet el-Sisi claimed to be devastated by the lack of competition.
It's not my fault. I swear to God, I wish there would have been more candidates for people to choose who they want. But they were not ready yet. There's no shame in this.
Okay, so el-Sisi saying, I wish there had been more candidates, is basically a hippopotamus who just sat on a pile of hamsters saying, I swear to God, I wish there were more hamsters. But they were not ready to crawl out from under my giant hippo butt. There is no shame in this. But the tricky thing is, if you're going to have something that even looks like an election, you badly need at least the appearance of an opponent. And he did get one of those, kind of.
The only man to stand against President Sisi is Musa Mustafa Musa, an openly pro-Sisi politician who, until the day before he registered to run, was part of the campaign to get Sisi re-elected.
It's true. One of his own supporters jumped into the race at the last minute, submitting his candidacy just 15 minutes before the deadline. And until the morning of his nomination, Musa's own Facebook page said, "Long live Egypt, Abdel Fattah el-Sisi for president." And look, hey, maybe that was just a glitch on Egyptian Facebook. You know, like the one on America's Facebook, where they allowed your personal data to be accessed by a firm working to elect Donald Trump president of the United States. But look, Farmville was super fun, wasn't it? So it was all worth it at the end of the day. But the key rule of a sham election is make it look legitimate. So even on election day, el-Sisi's election spokesperson was reassuring Egyptians that this was a completely free and fair election.
Of course, it's a 1,000,000% democratic process. And the evidence is that all the Egyptian people, including many big numbers of youth and elderly, have come out to vote. They are coming to say yes to Mr. President, yes to Egypt. We are here to say yes to Egypt.
Yeah, that's nice, but saying yes to Egypt is not what this election is supposed to be about. The vote here is not, is Egypt yes or no? Now, unsurprisingly, el-Sisi is projected to win with 92% of the vote. But in a sign of what a joke Egyptians considered this to be, the turnout was low, with only around 40% of voters bothering to show up, despite the fact that in a desperate attempt to make it look legitimate, the National Election Authority had threatened to impose a fine on people who failed to cast their ballots. And el-Sisi supporters weren't even above literal bribes to get Egyptians to go to the polls.
The going rate for a vote was around $3 to $5, but heading down to a polling station could also have landed you a box of groceries, or even half-price tickets to an amusement park.
Wow! $5 and discount tickets to an amusement park. Say what you like about el-Sisi, and if you live in Egypt, you can't. But it is pretty depressing that 7 years after the Arab Spring, he's now trying to win over the voters the same way a divorced dad tries to win over his kids.